shadows we lurk, in shadows we play. This is Night Shift.
Let's finish with a bit of a goth monster
My
track.
name is Martin.
With
I'm 84
Martin
years
from
old.
Soft Serve.
People think I'm crazy when I tell them how old I am.
I'll submit this to the next
I'd like to be normal.
Goth City
Sickness. The way I
compilation.
survive is by drinking blood. Not easy living the way I do. You have to be careful all the time. I'm pretty good at it. I think as I get older, I get better. I haven't been caught yet.
Martin is the boy with problems. Martin has a family history. Martin has too many nightmares. He lives in a fantasy. There's a danger that he'll take too far his morbid curiosity. He's seen too many creepy films, he's read too many books. Martin sleeps with all the lights on, Martin's seen too many looks. He lives out a strange obsession, tries hard to resist. Martin needs a strange obsession to exist.
Those things I see in the movies are not real.
He's far too pale and far too frail to be a normal boy. There's something shining in his eyes, the things he'd like to say. Martin had a lot to live down, growing up in a mining town.
I have a whole lot of women. I watch them a lot all the time. I have to.
Torches burning in the trees, the shivering, lust for blood. He's the star of many horror movies, but deep inside he's good. There's an illness flowing through him that's there all the time. Though he watches and he waits, he knows he's not to blame. The face at the window, the hand under the bed. Martin has hallucinations, dreams that he's dead. Martin finds it hungers at its worst when he's in his bed.
Things I don't necessarily like to do. I want to stay alive. I do need blood.
He's finding hard to keep control. He knows it won't be long. His tongue rolls over his dry lips, and the voice lingers on. Martin. Martin. Oh, Martin. 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 Oh, Martin. 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 Oh, Martin. Martin. Oh, Martin. Martin. Hello, 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 and
and it's been a while since I've done this sort of thing. It really has. I missed it, so I thought I'd come back and do it again because, well, that's the idea. And because I'm playing with Social Youth Cult in at Gateshead in a little while. It's a week from Saturday, I believe it'll be. Just make sure I've got everything set as I need to here, because, you know, it's been a while since I've done this, as I say. Yes, it's 24th of May we'll be playing with them, so let's have a chat with them in a little while. But what would be sort of really apt for a bit of goth stuff, because, you know, that's what the theme of the show is now. We're all about the goth these days, so let's find something appropriately goth to play for you. Yes, and in case you don't know, in case you're new to this sort of thing, I'm Derek Anthony Williams. In John Noel Band, I run night shift goth events. I've got a festival coming up at the end of November, but that's basically all sold out pretty much now. There's about 2 tickets left, so you don't really need to. I don't really need to advertise that because it's basically all done and dusted. But I like to boast about it anyway. Yeah, I think the best thing we could do right now is probably play some Byronic Sex and Exile. Because, you know, I mean, what more goth do you need than Byronic Sex and Exile? So yeah, but what track? I could play the new Vampiros Lesbos, but that's like 7.5 minutes long, and I do need to get to Social Youth Cult in not too distant future. So let's have Jacobin. I think, yes, let's get that ready for you. Hopefully, I think it's going now. Yeah, it should be playing any second. Right, I'll have to get. It's just I'm so out of practice at this. Right, here you are. Hopefully, it's got plenty of video-ness to it. So anyway, Byronic Sex and Exile, Jacobin.
Exile
Right, that was Baronet Sex and Exile Jacobin, gothcityrecords.bandcamp.com. Right, I think we need to get on now and play you some Social Youth Cult. So I'll just get some of them ready now. Let's see, should be about there, ready to pop that on for you. Right, okay, here we go. So Social Youth Cult, and what's it called again? Let me have a look. Venus in Death, I believe. Yes, Venus in Death sounds goth to me. Alright, yeah, Venus in Death by Social Youth Cult. No, that's not them. Here we are. Hello, we should be appropriately live now with you on the screen and that sort of thing. I've prepared some exciting banner to go at the top, so that would be nice there. That would look nice for interviewing you. Yeah, so Social Youth Cult are joining me now, a band which I've heard much about. Everyone's going crazy about them. They're going to be touring the entire world next month. Probably. Yeah.
Thanks, Will.
And they've sold out Wembley Stadium for a week in a row. They Madison Square Garden awaits with Trump hosting. Anyway, yes. So Social Youth Cult, welcome to the newly created Night Shift Goth TV, as opposed to Neo Futurist TV. Why don't you tell us who you each are for now? I mean, that's kind of an interesting way to start, I think, and your purpose in the band, if indeed any of you have a purpose in the band.
Gonna start.
I'm looking to start. I am Alex and I play drums.
I'm Sean. I'm the vocalist, occasional guitarist, and songwriter in the band.
I'm Jack. I am the bassist, definitely not the vocalist, and songwriter for the band.
Right, so I mean, I know, even though I've sort of heard much about how incredible you are and that sort of thing, I know very little about the origin, and I dare say there's a fair few people, and I've got a fair few international viewers and that sort of thing. So tell us about how Social Youth Cult got started and why, because that's always a good place to start.
Well, I'm a student, and I early moved to Newcastle. Well, it'd be 2 years ago nearly now. And I had a very sort of scary, as you do, trying to find my way around a new city, make new friends, and everything. And I went out one night to this bar called the Dog and Parrot that everyone now hates. And I was sat at the bar, I was adequately, drunk, and all I hear is this little voice in my ear.
Little voice.
Joy Division! Joy Division! And I go, what's that? Joy Division! And I turn around, and this, on me, but yeah.
No, roundabout.
And I looked down, and it's just like, oh, Joy Division, I love you. I was wearing a Joy Division t-shirt. And he'd come run up to me, give me a Snapchat. He was,
I was mortal.
So we met the next day. You two already know each other.
Yeah, we'd been in bands for about a year at that point, roundabout. Over a year-ish, yeah. So I already knew Alex, knew him through, I had a friend he went to college with, that he was in a band with. And then we met Jack, and you already knew Holly as well.
Yeah, well, I was actually out with Holly on the night, but she was having a smoke at the time. So then we brought Holly in, who's unfortunately not here because she's prepared a dissertation. Yeah, poor her. But I met her, and then we brought her in, which is probably the best thing we could have done.
Yeah,
to be honest,
I couldn't sing and play guitar at the same time very well either.
But, she's brilliant. But yeah, it was right place, right time, I think.
So I've heard things like it's good to see a band taking, say, Bauhaus. Strange enough, you've got the T-shirt on as a sort of inspiration.
My thingy, but I got Bela Lugosi's Dead on.
Ah, very good. Someone, I believe it was Joel of Goth City, suggested that it was good to see a band sort of taking a sort of Bauhaus influence. Was that a conscious decision, or is it just how it seemed to happen with what happened when you got together and started doing music?
Well, the thing is, we did, what we've got out is definitely not like that.
It's like dark wave.
It's like dark wave, we sort of fell into the, what I would consider the easy route for, a lot of new sort of dark bands. But, then we sort of got hit this, as you do, we hit this, this plane where we couldn't come up with anything. And we just put the single out, and I couldn't think of absolutely anything. So I thought, I've got this idea, because when I was 14 I was really into Radiohead, and I bought a fuzz pedal because I really wanted to play exit music for a film. And so I brought it to uni with me. I dug it out from under my bed and I brought it. And I think it was it a couple of weeks after, we had a mess about with it, and we immediately wrote The Fall. Yeah, which is probably one of our best songs. It's quite a energetic sort of thing. So it was that sort of heavier. I brought the fuzz pedal in, and then the fuzz pedal was so we I bought a new overdrive and stuff like that. And Holly's very into heavy metal as well, so she's brought that heavier sort of sound to it. So I think it was a bit by chance, but also we just really like Bauhaus as well.
Yeah, and I think as well you can hear it like transition in a way, because we had Hollow, which that's a bit heavier than the rest of the stuff.
Yeah.
And then wrote Venus and Death, which kind of bridged it even more. It was when we got like The Fall, the Lighthouse, that sort of stuff. It kind of went full Bauhaus, and obviously we're all big fans of Bauhaus. Before Social Youth Cult, we used to just do Bauhaus covers now with the band. So it was kind of just like a natural thing, but also not at the same time. It kind of all happened at once, but then, you know what I mean? You could see it was going to happen, I guess.
So, and obviously, unlike a fair few goth bands, you have a live drummer.
Yeah.
We talk about that all the time.
So what's it been like? Speaking to the drummer, as I think, if we're going to talk drums, perhaps have a word with the drummer. So not left out as well, because we've had sort of word with bass player and vocalist. Drummers get ignored too much. So what has there been anything that sort of inspired you towards your method on the drums in Social Youth? Are you doing it any different to anything else, or
stuff that I picked up from like songs and stuff, and from other drummers and stuff, like John Bottom, such as his feels not really gothy, but it's always been like an inspiration for me to play drums. Also not another gothy person, Dave Grohl, how he like flams the snare drum and to the toms and stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, so those are the sort of has there been any sort of particular sort of influence to, or any difference from sort of how you might have started doing drums in how you've approached it with Social Youth Cult? Has there been any sort of particular method you've opted for with Social Youth Cult that's maybe anything different from what you've originally sort of come up with drums, or you're just adapting those influences into it?
I think I brought these like influences into the band, really.
Yeah. So basically, you are taking those drumming influences, and that's just going into Social Youth Cult, and it's basically.
I am making them, yeah.
Yeah. Also, I think you were in the description said you're post-punk. I mean, there are certain people who sort of are getting a bit annoyed with goth bands refusing to call themselves goth bands and going post-punk. What do you feel about the sort of either identifying as goth or post-punk or whatever?
Well, there's a bit of a split in the band,
right?
Actually, in terms of what is goth and what is it. Doesn't bloody mean anything, It means everything and nothing.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, if you think it's goth, it's goth. If you think it's not, then it's not.
As long as you listen to the music.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, yeah, but well, it's the same thing. Like, there's a lot of online, people online. It's like, oh, it's a music-based subculture, but it's not. Right? You can have goth people that are deaf. You can have goth people that the hard of hearing.
That's true.
It's more than just music. But I suppose as a band, I prefer post-punk because it highlights a bit more of like the creative side of things, rather than goth is a good word for the energy or for the image, but for the actual music, I feel like post-punk is very associated with the early 70s stuff,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
early 70s, late 70s.
Late 70s. It would be a little bit difficult to be post-punk before it started,
Well, television did it.
Television did.
Well, I stand corrected then, so.
You can Eno did it as well, but there's a lot of discourse around it that I tend to ignore. It's we're a band. That's the main thing.
That's the main thing.
Music. If you like music, come watch us. If you don't, then unlucky.
And so obviously, I mean, because we have touched on goth there, we do need you to obviously define exactly, definitively what is goth. No, we're down to that. Because it's trying to define goth is just almost impossible these days. So what's been your sort of experiences of getting involved in the goth scene and that? And I noticed you did, I think, a gig where it solely Joy Division covers? I saw on YouTube you'd got a lot of Joy Division covers and videos on there.
Really, early on, I thought I'd got rid of them, to be honest.
Sorry, though they didn't actually have those. I'm totally mate.
But we used to record loads of videos. We'd be like, wearing a band, we're well cool, but we only really did Joy Division covers. We did.
Sisters of Mercy.
We did Sisters of Mercy.
That was the very first song we did live was Lucretia, wasn't it?
It was Transmission, I think.
Was it?
It was Transmission into Lucretia.
Oh, I was really drunk our first gig, I don't remember.
But it's Yeah, well, the thing is, that's how we started. When when it was just us three, all we used to do was just sit and play Joy Division, just because everything's got a very defined role. Because
Yeah.
it's not two guitars, it's not so and so. Everyone's got their own part, so it's and it's easy to adapt as well because it's a lot of the Joy Division stuff's quite simple. So if you're jamming around with it, then it's it's easy to add stuff, or it's easy to say why don't we take it this direction and whatever. But we don't really do that no more. We used to do Nude on Phase quite a bit.
Yeah.
But the only thing we do now is like Bella Lugosi's Dead every now and again.
So, what goes into writing a social youth cult track then these days? What inspirations drive it, and what's? I mean, are there any particular themes which are regularly appearing in the songs or anything that way?
I think you should answer it and I'll answer because we both
we write
very different sort of songs.
For me, it's mostly just whatever I'm feeling at the moment, whether it's something's happened or I don't know. I just like Hollow is about a day where I was out on a walk and I just felt really, really like overwhelmed by everything in a good way, like a really good way. And I was listening to The Cure and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try and write a song about this, and I did. But then there's like other things that are a bit more thought out, which is like Venus and Death, which is about like occult rituals in like prehistory and stuff like that. So it just depends. It's basically just whatever I fancy I write about, really. And then overarching themes, again, it just depends on the song. I don't really think I do have any that kind of stretch across everything I've written.
It's about variety.
Yeah, exactly.
I think for me it's just obviously I think you start most of yours on the guitar, don't you?
Yeah.
Whereas obviously I start most of mine on the bass. So a lot of mine are a lot more. You tend to write more open songs. Like Close to Nothing's a very open song, whereas mine all starts from that that drive. So I'm trying to think what songs I've written now. Lighthouse. Well, we wrote The Fall together, but the Fall's based on that bass riff.
Yeah.
Some of the new stuff, but there is exceptions each way. Actually, we do cross over.
Yeah.
Like Venus and Death is very driven. That started with the bass.
Yeah, that started with the bass.
And then there's a song called Dead Space. It's really spaced. It's in the name. It's really spaced out, very atmospheric. But usually we tend to stay in our lanes a little bit. It's good to have two songwriters in the band as well.
Yeah, very handy.
There's a lot of bands break up because of ego, and I think the one that I think about is the Pixies. When is it Kim Deal? Is that her name? The bassist.
I think so. Yeah.
And she wrote like she went to go with the Breeders, and she's amazing. It's because they only broke up because he wanted to be the early songwriter.
Yeah.
And, he was like he wanted to be the top dog in the band. Whereas if you've got shared responsibilities, as well as we'll come up with the initial idea and then we'll bring it to Alex. Alex will go straight away and just turn it to a different song, right? And the song's always better.
Yeah.
And then we give it to Holly, and Holly just has. It's very weird. She just has that weird you'll give her a song, and the song could be good. The song, on its own, it'd be perfectly fine. And then you'll give it to Holly, and Holly puts the guitar bit on it, and then it just completes it.
So you basically have like a core, one of you comes up with like a core form of a song, and then when it gets fed into the band as a whole, it tends to evolve into something new.
Yeah.
Has there been any in particular which have been sort of particularly surprising as to what's happened when it's ventured further than just being...
The Fall.
It sounded way different when I wrote it. Until I just took the bass line, gave it a jack. One of us at some point butchered the bass line in the best way possible, and it sounds so much better. And then Holly put the guitar on, Alex put the drums on. I had a flip through my notebook and I found some words, and it just so happened to fit. And it just all come together really nicely, and it kind of happened,
Speaking of Bauhaus, actually, there's a bit of double dare in that as well.
Yeah.
So.
Are the police coming to arrest you now?
They always are. On the road.
Yeah, so having enough of this gothingness around anyway. Yeah, so let's talk about how it's been sort of taking it sort of as this, rather than being, say, involved in doing covers. How's it been for you to get those original songs out there, and how's it been to express that to people and see how they've been received?
You go and then I'll go.
Well, we in a cover band, so
Yeah. I think that goes as far back as when we first started doing live gigs, because we never really did just covers.
Right.
We always had our own stuff out alongside, but it kind of just separated eventually, and it got to the point where it was like we were doing gigs, no covers, and then people would start singing the words along, or we'd see people that when we did eventually release stuff.
I always found that weird when people sing the words along.
Yeah, me
like,
too.
Hang on, I'm not going to know them. Like, who told you that?
Yeah. But yeah, it's really great. It's as you said, it's a good form of expression. But for me, I like that people enjoy what I'm making more than anything. If 10 people enjoyed it, I'll be more than happy. But I don't know how many streams we've got at the minute.
Neither do I. I don't keep track.
Neither. But more than 10 people enjoy
Yeah.
our songs, which it's even more fantastic. And yeah.
What is interesting though, actually, is that we are quite stubborn in what songs that we will play and what songs that we won't. Well, I am.
Yeah, he is.
But there is songs that we used to play that we don't play now, and we've only been together for what, a year and a half, and there's songs that we're never going to touch again that we've played live, and that people have gone, oh yeah, that was nice, but just because we don't want to do it, I think there's a lot of you hear a lot of bands that are like, oh, this is our most hated, most popular song. I'm like, why are you still playing? Just stop playing it.
Are there any songs, I mean, that seems to suggest maybe that you found have gone down well with people, but you don't necessarily think it's as good as everyone else seems to find it. Perhaps you've liked it, but you've not. Or perhaps, I mean, I often find that some of my favourite tracks that I've done aren't necessarily the ones that go down best with people. So have you ever found that?
Yeah, well, we stopped doing a couple because we wrote a song called Bloodletter. It was really punky, and it, we only made it goth because Holly just started scraping all of her strings on the pick. But it's like we don't play it no more. Like we recorded it and we were planning to put it out, but it had that there was a lot of conflict with whoever we were going to be recording it, and then we managed to get someone who would do it, but I think he's really busy at the minute, so it might come out, it might not. But we very, very rarely play that now, just because it's. I'm sure maybe you get it, where it's if you've written a guitar part that's really good, but it's really difficult to play.
I'm a really bad guitar player, so I don't really ever have that problem much. I mean, there are. I mean, okay, maybe there's some things which, I might have written which I can't exactly do, sort of on my own, so to speak, and sing. But I don't have many really complex guitar parts or anything. I can't say that I'm that skilled, frankly. But there's definitely. The thing is, I use so much that I've recorded and just put it on a backing track, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. It's different. And you ever thought of sort of adding keyboards to the mix or?
Oh, what, us?
Yeah.
Well, we did, but then I fell out with the idea just because I don't know. There's something just really satisfying about doing everything as analog as possible.
Yeah.
Well, analog doesn't mean anything, but
yeah,
because it's all electric. But like,
I know what you mean anyway.
Yeah, there's something about hitting the string or hitting the drums and then it makes the sound. Where it's like if you just press the key. Then to me that doesn't feel like, I need to feel like I'm actually doing something. I need to feel
a hammer on the synthesizer, and then you're still like, oh, you're not doing it.
Yeah.
So at least we know you're in no danger of being replaced by a drum machine. Then
What?
We know you're in no danger of being replaced by a drum machine. Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
So let's talk some, wind this up very shortly, but so tell us sort of some of maybe your more memorable gig experiences, and maybe on some occasion where things perhaps didn't go quite according to plan. Because near enough everyone's always got a story where something unfortunate happened at a gig.
What's the best gig we've ever done, Alex?
The best gig that we ever done.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm still still impressed of the Flowergate Hall gig that we did.
Yeah,
First
in
Whitby,
Whitby,
yeah. That was good.
We're back there actually in June. In little promo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
well,
felt
get
like
your
one,
tickets.
one of the gigs
Yeah.
where it's like it felt like one of those gigs where we were like, holy shit, this is working.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, we sold it on. You know, it was
Are
one
we
of the
allowed,
things.
Are we allowed to swear on the thing, by the way? I just
No, no, you can do what. I don't think anyone who can't manage shit will be watching. You know.
But yeah, that was mental, especially because that was Whitby, and we started gigging in
March. It was like the end of March. wasn't it?
properly in June last year. I mean, we'd only played one gig this time last year.
Yeah.
So November to get Whitby and then to sell it out was,
That was pretty
Crazy.
good news. Yeah.
you know, it's like, it's just weird being there because it was like, hang on, why am I here? You know, I was like,
Yeah.
you know, where's the button? But I think they definitely that. But going to London was a very, very enriching experience. I think we played at the Cart and Horses, which is the Iron Maiden pub.
Right, I didn't know that. I don't know
the-
that pub. I mean, I've played London many times, and I've never actually been that one. So
it's in
It's
in Maryland.
It's in Stratford, yeah. No, Maryland and Stratford next to each other. I don't know London very well, but it was good seeing like a really busy sort of scene. You know, it was good because the scene in the northeast is very scattered. You know, as sort of is the nature of the northeast, I suppose, because it's like there's little pockets of everything everywhere, and then there's sort of nothing in between. So it's very interesting to see it all condensed into one place. Because
Yeah.
often you'll see people, if you do a gig in Sunderland, or if you do a gig, you know, I know some people do it in Stockton, and you know, or if you go down and you do a gig in Leeds, there's pockets of people, but they don't often travel. Whereas London, you know, London is its own country, really.
it is really very much.
Feels like
You
it.
know, if there's something going on the other side of London, people will go, even though it's like, you know, it takes you 2 hours to get there.
Yeah.
It's weird, but it's really nice. I think
Yeah.
it was very eye opening. The gig was good as well.
Yeah. I couldn't live there. Like London's too crazy, but it was lovely going and gigging.
Yeah, I love
Um,
visiting the place, but
yeah.
I couldn't even afford to live there. I think so. You know, it's just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So has there been any? I mean, I don't know if you even want to admit it. Any sort of gigs where things haven't been quite according to plan or anything?
Well, we nearly died.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh god.
well, we did a gig in Coventry at the beginning of April, but we've really struggled to organise travel because trains to Coventry are very awkward. And
Yes,
very
yes.
expensive. So I was like, you know, to get all of us down, it'll cost me like 400 quid. And I'm, you know, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna make, you know.
You
it's
need
not,
a
there's not lot
car,
of money,
you need
but
a car.
400 quid is a lot of money.
Oh,
So we went, yeah, we'll hire a rental car. You know, you're 20, you're about to turn 22,
Yeah.
and Holly's 21, and me and her are the other ones who can drive, and I can't drive at the minute, so I'm not being banned, don't worry. But you know, so we thought, you know, we'll rent a car, and you know, we'll get this. But obviously, car rentals are very, you know, the story does get interesting. The car rentals are, you know, very particular about who they loan things onto and stuff like that. So we booked it with this company. We went to the airport to go pick the car up. I rung ahead. I went, is there anything that could possibly mean you don't give us this car on the day? They went, no, it's all fine. Right, got there, no. So me and Holly walked around the airport. We went to every single car rental station please give us a car. Please, please, please. No
Oh.
car for you. So we had to go 20 minutes outside the airport. We had to Uber to a nearby village where there was a car rental place. We got a car. It was very expensive. Drove all the way down. It's a very long drive to Coventry.
Yeah.
Got there fine. We were late. You know, sorry, Jeremy. And then we drove back, but we set off at about 1 o'clock, I think.
Yeah, round
And
about.
Holly was very tired.
It must be about 4 or 5 hours from where you are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because I know it's about 2 for me, so.
Yeah.
Or
Well, it's,
Newcastle / Gateshead is 2 for me, so, and I'm about halfway between you, so.
Yeah. Well, it must be about 2.5 from you. I'm from York, so I know sort of.
Right. Yeah.
I'm in that middle bit as well. But anyway, so we're driving back up. You know, we had a couple of pit stops, and then we get into. You know, we made it back up fine, and then we go to drop him off first. He lives in County Durham, and we get into concert, which is where he lives, and then. You know, we're all sort of nodding off. You know, I think there was a car seat address song that came on. It sort of put us all to sleep. And then, you know, I jumped up and I was like, started panicking. I looked over. Right. So I you know, if you're learning how to drive, you drive the has to grab the wheel. I was like, Holly, you know, because we were literally like, I woke up. And I looked forward, and we were going towards someone's fence.
Oh God!
It's like Holly. We you know, stopped over. We had to smirk. We had to.
So you were nearly sort of social death cult.
Probably
Yes.
would have been fine, but we would have financially died. I think, considering it was a rental.
The car was fine.
Oh yeah, the car was fine.
The car was fine. We were, you know, a little bit scarred, and then you know, I had to sort of perk Holly every maybe 30 seconds as we got back. And got, you know, these two off.
Not surprised.
The gig was fine. It's just the travel was
it was a good
you know, we're
gig.
getting used to the travel.
Yes.
That
Bit
was
of getting used to.
away from Newcastle.
Right, anyway, I think we shall. I've kept you sort of yakking about things long enough, I'm sure, but it's been lovely to talk to you, and I look forward to seeing you in a week and a bit's time, because the videos look thoroughly excellent, and the sound is indeed very good. So yeah, I look forward very much to what will go off there. Hopefully we'll have several thousand people coming to see us, right? Anyway, yes, let me get that other track of yours ready. Do you want to sort of tell people about You Do It To You before I play it?
This version's a lot better than what's on the record.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, 110%. Do not listen to the original version.
Do not listen to our music. Only listen to it on YouTube.
All right, thanks very much for your time, and I'll play You Do It To You now then.
Thank you. Cheers.
We'll do soon anyway, promise. Or at least that's the aim anyway. It's having trouble. Saying it can't play it for some reason. Let's see if we can get that working in a second. In the meantime, I'll just put myself back on screen, as that's good enough, right? Right, anyway, let's get rid of that banner and see if that thing will download and play this time. Looks maybe a little bit better this time. Let's see how we get on with this. I can fix it in post anyway, thankfully. there you go. That was Social Youth Cult with You Do It To You. So that was good. That's nice to know. Right, yes, so that was Social Youth Cult with You Do It To You. And I thought you might like to know about something going off next week in the Leeds area. Well, Bradford. At the Midland Hotel Bradford, you've got the revamped weekend, and also at the 1 in 12 Club, you've got World Dracula Day lecture with Rosie Guyland. You've got a vampire masquerade ball on the Friday in the evening, and all manner of other things happening as well. 1 in 12 Club on the Sunday. With I think it is Sunday, am I right there? No, that's Saturday as well. It's in the evening, and you've got like the 1919 last July, Baronic Sets in Exile, Chaos Bleak and Hertzfall all on in the evening there. What you got in the daytime again, it's the World Dracula Day lecture presented by Rosie Garland. That's what that's all about. Thought you might like to know about that, so there you go. Right, let's find some other music to play for you now. Who shall we have? Who's been making interesting music recently? So Holy Braille, yes, they recently went on tour with well, 2 dates at least, with IMX, which is pretty fabulous. So I think we'll have Guillotine by Holy Braille now. That's a very good track. I'm sure you will agree. So let's grab that for you, and we can have that, and then I'll pretty much finish for today, I think. And they're another band that's in the northeast. They're in the sort of Newcastle sort of area these days. And yes, obviously next week I will be playing with Social Youth Cult at the Black Bull in Gateshead, as I'm sure that sort of you've seen that it is about and that sort of thing. Anyway, just waiting for this video to download, and then we can play it for you. It's Holy Braille with Guillotine. Right, I'm back on screen now. Yes. Yes. I seem strangely to have moved off screen there, and I don't know why. I shouldn't be. So it goes. I can always fix that later, maybe. See if taking myself off and putting back on will help. I don't know why it's being silly like that, but there you go. What happens if I move that? If I move that over there, what happens then? Slightly better, but I don't know. It's being very, very silly. Hello, where have I gone? Oh dear. I'll just edit this bit off in the end, I think. Anyway, yeah, so this is coming up very soon. The Black Hole Sun Festival in Morecambe. I don't know how many tickets are left for it, but it's a weekend festival by the seaside, and I'm opening it up with John Orband in quite a different mode to what you see here today. So, yeah, there you go. That's coming up at the end of the month. Back in futurist mode as opposed to goth mode like now. Right, that's enough for today, I think. So I'm going to stop for now. So until next time I do this,